You are now watching M.O.D. Entertainment. Make sure you subscribe and check out the playlist.
I grew up hearing gunshots in the late night. Ghetto bird, police sirens as a mother cries. Just another victim of the Soundbrown genocide. Locals posted, locked and loaded, ready to take lives. And when they heard the chief late, they would duck up out of sight. Like your car when the sun down, it was mission time. You had to stay alert, cause bullets always travel blind. We stayed posted, we stayed drinking, and we getting high. Marchando down the enemy's neighborhood as we ride. Put the hood, put the glica sample, fuck their side. No regrets, but the truth is no peace of mind.
G-Files.
Now another neighborhood that you have right here. Now this one is more of a new school neighborhood. This used to be a tag banging crew that became a neighborhood. Now I can't confirm that it became a neighborhood, but that's how they write it. That's what they put. That's what they say. You have the barrio car. Now car translates to crazy ass rascals. So not to be confused with crazy riders, because they do go at it with them. You know what I mean? Throughout this area, seems like that's one of their main rivals, and it be on and popping. You feel me? Now the barrio crazy ass rascals is a they were a tag banging crew that had been around since the 90s. Didn't become any until the 2000s, but I can't confirm it. And yeah, homie, you can find their barrio right here, located on Little Street. Little Street is home base, the dojo for them. You feel me? Hence why you do see it up sometimes. You see it up, CARLST. The LST translates to Little Street, because that is where they're located at. You know, that's the place in which they call home, their barrio. You feel me? And going at it with the surrounding neighborhoods, homie, because like I said, it's jam packed right there. You got no choice but to, put it down. But that's what's up with the Vital Cars gang right there, translating to crazy ass rascals, and that's what's up with them. Another neighborhood that you have right here in the west side area is the Vital Easy Riders. Now, Easy Riders is located right there on 28th and 27th. For those backends is where they come from. This is the original site in which they started from, because this barrio is another neighborhood that's large, in old school. I heard they were around since the 60s, 70s, por ahí. Now this neighborhood right here is a neighborhood in which the rappers Trigger, aka Youngster, rest in peace, and Big Chino. This is where the barrios and where they're from. You know what I mean? Go scope out their music. You know what I mean? Now the Easy Riders neighborhood is a neighborhood that's much large as a whole, because they are located in different spots. Like they're located in the southeast, they're located in East LA. They got several branches, different places. But right here is home ground for them, where they originally came from. From this area was their birthplace, and it's a lot of you definitely see up and you definitely hear about. And no, they have no affiliation to the Crazy Riders. That's Crazy Riders, Easy Riders. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. They be holding it down right there, leaving Easy and putting their Vada up on the map. You feel me? But that's what's up with the Easy Riders gang right there. Another neighborhood that we have right here is the Barrio Wanderers neighborhood. So not to be confused with Whittier's 13, because they do write just the W13. Now Barrio Wanderers is a neighborhood that's already been right here on the west side, right in the heart of Todo Desmadre. You know what I mean? Another neighborhood. Now their home base, home ground for these guys is on Grande View. Grande View is their dojo, their domain, their main spot, where they hold it down, homie. And Barrio Wanderers was always a small neighborhood, but it was an active neighborhood. It was a neighborhood that you definitely hear about. One that kept it active. You know what I mean? A shout out to Pelon and Drowsy from right here. The Wanderers, homie, they ain't playing, dog. These guys, and when they come to do business, homie. And they're kind of like the Drifters, hence why they got their name, the Wanderers, because they go anywhere and everywhere. You know what I mean? They pretty much don't give a fuck. Real gangsters on a stroll. So the Wanderer neighborhood is a neighborhood you definitely have to keep through check for, because they put in work, homie. They down for that action, homie. These guys, chumps. Like I said, just because the neighborhood's small doesn't make them pushovers. You know what I mean? The Wanderer is just as bad as the rest of them. You know what I mean? And yeah, homie, that's what's up with the Barrio Wanderers right there, holding it down for theirs, and definitely putting their barrio up on the map.
Another neighborhood that you have right here in West Los is the Barrio Tiny Insane Criminals. Now, Tiny Insane Criminals is the TIK neighborhood. Now, TIK was a crew before that was around since the 80s. It was an old school tag banging crew. You feel me? That became a neighborhood. Now, they've been a neighborhood already for a while. You know what I mean? But they did start off as a crew first. It was the Tiny Insane Criminals, and they were located right there on 8th Avenue in the west of LA.
You know what I mean? Right there, the danger zone, right there, with all the neighborhoods and the rest of the neighborhoods are. I'm telling you, man, it's just jam packed full of vatos right there. You feel me? Now, the Tiny Insane Criminals has never been a large gang as a whole. You feel me? They were always roughly small, like I said, you know, because they used to be a tank crew. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, homie, these vatos are down. Now, there is a TIK, another TIK that did click up with the Lot Stoners. Now, I was told that they're two different TIKs. You know what I mean? One is clicked up with the Lot Stoners, and this one is just themselves. You know, is their own neighborhood. You feel me? They are their own original neighborhood. You know what I mean? They roll solo bolo, and they be right here holding it down. You know what I mean? They may not be as large or as old school as some of these other neighborhoods, but they're with the business. I have homies from right here. Shout out to the homies Sleepy, Moreno, and Suspect from TIK. Those are the homies right there. Actually, free the homie Sleepy. That's a camarada right there. And shout out to all the homies from TIK that be holding it down. All right, now right here in Hollywood, located right here on Hollywood and Normandy, you have the Barrio Armenian Power. Now, Armenian Power has several locations throughout Los Angeles. You know, Glendale, North Hollywood, Atwater, Hollywood. You know, they got several different spots. You know what I mean? Now, Armenian Power is a large gang in a whole. And even though they're not that old school because they started in the late 80s, they grew in numbers really, really fast. It is said that there's about like more than like 3,000 of these guys. So, I don't know about y'all, but that's a whole lot of manpower. You know what I mean? They're large and they're down, homie. They're with the business, you know. I got a few homies out there, Armenian Power, and they be holding it down right there. You feel me? Going at it with the surrounding neighborhoods around there. You know what I mean? Like I said, even though they may not be as large as some of these other hoods, homie, these guys are no chums, no pushovers, you feel me? These guys are definitely with the business, made the news several times for all kinds of sweeps, you know, FBI's most wanted, and all kinds of crazy shit, homie. The Armenian Power, they be doing their thing, homie, the AP, you know? And yes, AP, the reason they are on here is because they are treses, they are homeboys, they do roll with the suit, you know what I mean? In the beginning, they were just their own thing, but then, you know, later on, they, you know, they hopped on board. Because, you know, they always had our stilo, obviously growing up right there in that area and was, you know, gang infested and, you know, majority, you know, being Hispanic at the time, you know what I mean? It just made it a whole lot easier. I mean, it made it a lot harder to recruit. But since Armenian Power was a gang that had started to protect Armenians from being discriminated against or picked on by other races and Hispanic and other Hispanic gangs. You know, is the reason why they grew in larger numbers. You know, and had such a tight bond because of that brotherhood that they had for each other's safety. You feel me? And yeah, that's what's up with the Armenian Power neighborhood right there, definitely holding it down in Hollywood. As a matter of fact, you know, this is the home ground for them, home base where they started at. You know, hence why they have the Hollywood gangsters right there. Now, rest in peace to Wino. Shout out to Gunther. Shout out to Sleepy, Lazy. Shout out to all the homies from Armenian Power that be representing right there, holding it down, and definitely putting their barrio on the map. You feel me? Another neighborhood that you have right here in the danger zone in the west part of LA near the Los Angeles High School is the barrio LOAS, standing for, people think that it stands for Los Angeles. That's not what it stands for. It stands for Lost Angels. Lost Angels. Lost as in, you know, they lost their way. You feel me? You know how they say it's the city of angels. Well, you know, angels that lose their way are lost. You know what I mean? Lost Angels. So this is the neighborhood known as the Lost Angels. Now, I was heard that this neighborhood was a tagging crew since the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. It was a tagging crew, and it became a neighborhood in the 2000s is what I heard. You know what I mean? At least that's what I was told. And they're located right there near the Los Angeles High School area. And this neighborhood is roughly a small neighborhood, but they get it on and cracking because you see the activity by these guys. You see, you know, they're riding all over the place. They do have members that hold it down right there. Like I said, I mean, if you're still standing and you're still up, you know what I mean? And you see the activity, so you can't say that, you know, they're not up. They be doing their thing, you feel me? They be holding it down right there for their barrio. Representing it and putting, you know, definitely their side up on the map, you feel me? That's just how it is, and that's what's up with the Lost Angels neighborhood right there. The neighborhood that you have right here, almost close to the Barnesdale Park, you have the West Side Wyfens neighborhood. Now, yes, it is the same one as the East Side Wyfens, but West Side Wyfens is located right here in Hollywood, close to Armenian Power's neighborhood, hence why they have, you know, beef with each other.
The West Side White Fence, like I said, White Fence is an old school neighborhood as a whole. It is a large neighborhood, and right here in the West, they're not as large as the East, but they still have a strong presence. They still have numbers. You feel me? There are no slouches over here. You get me? This is the neighborhood in which the homie Smiley, M.O.D, is the neighborhood, the side where he's from. You know, West Side White Fence and the locals clique, and they definitely got their numbers, and they definitely got their riders holding it down right there for their barrio, putting that shit on the map. You know what I mean? These guys ain't back it down. You feel me? And plus, the East and the West don't even stay that far from each other. So I mean, you know, they could always come and help them over here, or vice versa. You feel me? So the White Fence neighborhood is just a large neighborhood as a whole. You know what I mean? One of these old school neighborhoods. You know, out of these areas. You know, heavily rooted and with good reputation, homie. You know what I mean? Right here in these Hollywood streets, homie. And yeah, that's what's up with the barrio West Side White Fence, holding it down right there for their barrio and putting it on the map. Now here's another barrio coming out of this area that's quite unique. The reason it's unique is because people hear it and see it in two different ways. You have the FRS neighborhood, or you have the AMG neighborhood. Basically meaning you have the barrio Friends, as in, yes, friends, you know, I'm not insulting them or nothing, that's their barrio, Friends. And also how they write it in Spanish, Los Amigos, so barrio Amigos. And Friends is a neighborhood that has already been right here since the 80s. Pretty old school neighborhood. You can find them right here on Winona Street. It's home base, home ground for them. Is their dojo, you feel me? Friends has never been a large neighborhood, you know what I mean? They always been roughly a small neighborhood, but pretty well structured. You feel me? You know, they got their hood sewed up, and even though their territory is not a large piece of territory, and even though they're not large in numbers, you hear about them. These guys ain't no chums, ain't no pushovers. Hence the reason why they're a small neighborhood, and that is also with some of these other neighborhoods, but they're still standing. You know, to this day, should show you that they're very persistent. They don't go down without a fight. And I know people like to clown on their name, you know, because of friends or whatever, but don't get it twisted, homie. They're friends, but to each other, you know what I mean? So anybody else is the opposition, so they will handle business. You feel me? And yeah, that's what's up with the barrio Friends gang, Los Amigos right here holding it